Pop.
He may be pop to his grandkids, but these days, many are coming to know Earl Stafford as a dream maker. He simply says he's reacting to what God put in his heart to do.
Things are happening, doors are opening. And again, it's not about the Stafford Foundation, it's not about the Stafford family, it's not about Earl Stafford. This is about what God wants for the people.
What Earl Stafford is doing is almost unheard of. He's throwing one of the biggest parties in Washington to coincide with the swearing in of Barack Obama. It's called the People's Inaugural Ball, to be held here in downtown D.C. at the prestigious JW Marriott. With $1 million price tag, you'd think the guest list would only name the rich and famous, but not so. About a third of the invitations are being reserved for the most unlikely guests.
The focus is on those who are hurting, the hungry, the naked, the homeless. This is on those who have sicknesses and illnesses. This is on those who are disenfranchised and downtrodden and hopeless in life.
For 2 days, victims from Hurricane Katrina to wounded veterans returning from Iraq will be treated like royalty, with food, complimentary rooms, and even gowns and tuxes for the ball. And his good deed isn't going unnoticed. Stafford, a successful businessman and retired Air Force officer, has been making headlines with his compassion, which he says is born out of his faith and humble past.
We had a very meager background, a family of 12, and we didn't realize that we didn't have much until I was a teenager, but we had a very great background. And I remember my mother sending a pot of soup or something down the street to someone else, even when we didn't have a lot.
Stafford brushes aside critics who say he could put the money to better use.
I'm going to do with what God has blessed me with, what he tells me to do. In the world's view, it might be better to go and to spend a couple dollars at the homeless shelters, but the Lord has directed me to do this, and I'm going to do that.
And for those who believe his goodwill gesture is tied to Barack Obama, Stafford says he had the idea last March and put down a deposit on a hotel suite back in June. His family is excited about bringing the rich and poor together to learn from one another.
We want to inspire those who may feel downtrodden right now. Just make them know that there are people that care, God cares, and really we hope that they see God through this whole process.
They say the real work begins when the celebration ends, with counseling, life skills training, and teaching others to remember their neighbor. John Jessup, CBN News, Washington.